on the Treasure Coast. You are not out of the woods yet. What do the next 4 to 8 hours look like for your part of South Florida?
We're expecting a pretty significant impact here in New River County for sure tonight.
Well, this is something that all of us, most of us, not, in Boca or anything, but, a lot of us are going to be experiencing through the night. This is what it's going to look like, and it's just beginning. And, of course, for those of us in the northern part of Palm Beach County and on the Treasure Coast, the gusts are going to be higher than 67 miles per hour.
Yeah, in fact, that area is forecast to get winds gusting probably 90 miles an hour or more by morning, or actually, excuse me, not by morning, through the morning, but as we go overnight. And when we see those flashes, Jeff, are those flashes that we're catching on the radar?
Or lightning?
They're lightning, or those transmitters that we're losing?
Honestly, I have not seen much of any lightning, John, so probably they were transmitters.
That's power outages. We're also in touch with FPNL, Florida Power and Light, and we know where the power outages are as they continue to trickle down on the radar and trickle into the picture there as we continue to go on. Somebody's on that storm, Liz.
Yeah, at some point we're not going to be able to have these live pictures. It won't be safe to be outside. And also, too, I just want to point out, we're seeing these transformers blow up, which means people are losing power. So right after, John, when you and I finish, I want to put up our news partners, the radio stations, because that's going to be your only source of information to listen to us.
That's up to the director and you guys.
No, they will. When we're first, they'll put it up, and so people can write it down, because once you lose power and you lose the TV, you're like, oh, what was that radio station? I want to listen in, and you won't be able to. But the other thing, John, I wanted to talk to you about is you and I have covered many a hurricane from you longer, but together since Andrew, and this storm is similar to Gene. Because of the strength of the storm and where it's hitting.
Yes, especially around the Treasure Coast. And fortunately it's moving quickly, and that will be the big difference for us as far as too much rainfall. Remember, slow-moving storms, I would say a fast-moving storm gathers no rain.
You know what? We do have Michael Butchner. He can talk to us now. He was only listening to us before.
Michael, can you talk to us? Michael could probably hardly hear.
Hey, I hear you guys.
All right, you're in a safe place.
I hear you. We're actually... no, we definitely are. I can tell you, we've been here all day in Port Salerno. We're actually in a breezeway here. I don't know if Wally wants to pan away for a second here. We found cover here. This is a laundry room. You have the water there, and then this is the back side of the building. About 15 minutes ago or so, Jeff Berardelli talked about this band that was going to come through here, and sure enough, about a minute or two after he said it, we heard it. Let me take you back outside here. It came through here, and it was literally roaring. You can see it's kind of subsiding just a little bit. On the other side, on the Intracoastal side, let me see if we can walk through this breezeway, Wally, if you want. We came in here to get cover because we were actually sitting in the car waiting to do our next shot just because of the conditions, and it got really bad. So we came here. It's died down a lot, but I can tell you what, there was a mist that was literally on top of the water here. You couldn't see across the Intracoastal here, and there was this mist almost that was through the air. I stepped outside for a second, and it just felt like someone was pounding you with rocks. Whatever that was, whatever that band was, that was vicious, and I don't know, back at the station, if you guys have a way to measure or tell us exactly what that intensity was, just to kind of put that into perspective for the viewers, maybe.
I think we were looking at winds around 65 miles an hour with those gusts with the last squall line that came through. That was a PGA Silver Band on the radar. So probably 65 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Are those boats I'm seeing there, Michael? I got a bad feeling about those boats. With that wind going on, Mike?
Yeah, those boats are still here. I can't tell because it's dark now, obviously, about the boats that are further out there that were moored. I know you guys maybe you were able to see the sky light up. Those definitely look like transformers exploding. Anyone who's done this before, you've seen that. It's like a green haze, a purple haze, and we saw two of them. In this area, though, you can see the lights are still on at the restaurants here. I believe the building that we're seeking cover in, it still has power here, obviously. So that's good news for these folks,
by the way,
definitely a couple of transformers.
Okay, for a bearing, do you know what that restaurant is? I'm putting you on the spot there, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay.
let me see if I can walk out
Still
here.
looks like it's
hard
safe
for me to.
there.
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, and you know what's crazy is as quick as that came, you can see that it's gone. Most of it is just gone, just went away.
Yeah,
and what's
that's
scary to think about this, I can tell you earlier in the afternoon, we were, sorry to cut you off, earlier in the afternoon, we were in a mobile home park here in Martin County, and officials here have stressed the urgency of these folks to heed these warnings. I cannot imagine if that band were to pass over that mobile home park, the impact it could have.
Mike, you're wonderful. Please be safe. We're going to break over for a second. We've got a little rotation, some of those storms with Jeff. Jeff, you're up.
Yeah, so I'm seeing a little rotation in some of these cells that are now moving through the southern part of Palm Beach County. This is common in some of the bands from the storm. We could see some very quick moving, isolated tornadoes. They're very hard to pick out on the radar, but right now the worst of the weather is from Aberdeen down to around University Park and the West Delray area. We could see a quick spin up of a tornado. I want to zoom in a little bit. You'll notice right there around Gateway Boulevard for about a second, we saw a little bit of an indication of some rotation right there. That moved south and it disappeared. So it only appeared on one scan, then it disappeared. But a significant weather advisory has been issued for the possibility of funnel clouds. But that's how quickly these little spin-ups can happen. Right there, it came, it left. So far, no reports of tornadoes. But just be aware, if you see anything that looks really ominous heading your way, there is the possibility of isolated tornadoes. No tornado warning is in effect, but a significant weather advisory just issued for the southern part of Palm Beach County as this very heavy rain and signs of weak rotation move on by. I'll toss it back to you guys.
Can I inject one thing? Sure. Jeff, you know, when Jeff points out those little spots there on the radar, they're hard to detect, but he catches them every time. And thank you for that update, Jeff.
Do my job.
Thank you, John and Jeff. We want to get over to CBS 12's Chuck Weber, who is live on Singer Island. And Chuck, I haven't seen the video yet, but I understand the waves and the water is really whipping up where you are.
Yeah, that's right. We've moved actually from the barrier island, Liz, from Singer Island over here to Phil Foster Park, which is still in Riviera Beach, but it's the Blue Heron Bridge in between the mainland and the barrier island. Take a look over in this direction. You can see just how much the waves here in the Intracoastal Waterway are being stirred up. It is really getting violent here as far as the waves are concerned. The wind has been steadier in the last 20 minutes or so. We really haven't seen any let up, whereas earlier out on the beach, we were seeing, you know, the little band come in. It would last for a short time, and then we'd have a period of calm. We haven't seen a period of calm over here for some time. And so what we have seen, steady rain, we've seen steadier wind, sustained, and the Intracoastal Waterway right here behind me, we're getting crashing waves coming up on the seawall here in this spot from time to time. So conditions have really worsened out here, and this is very dramatic to see this kind of wave action in the Intracoastal Waterway. So you can tell things are getting worse, and we're seeing this on a sustained basis. Just as Jeff Bardelli and you all have been telling us for some time that this was going to happen, and it's happening right about on cue, just before 8 o'clock here. We are live in Riviera Beach. Chuck Weber, CBS 12 News.
Chuck, do you see any boats where you are, or any people where you are? I hope not.
We had been seeing people out on the beach on Singer Island. So, yeah, we had been seeing some people here at Phil Foster Park. Thankfully, nobody. There was a truck parked up here earlier kind of seeking refuge or shelter at a certain spot where he was kind of out of the way. But other than that, nobody's out. That's the way it should be right now because we are seeing worsened conditions.
Chuck, you may want to take a couple of steps inland because those waves are getting awfully close to your neck and your back. And I just want to make sure that you remain safe out there. The good news that we can see behind you is that it looks like you still have power. Certainly the light above you and the lights behind you. So that's going to be some good news for the residents in that area.
Wow, that's incredible. It looks like it's going to knock you over,
Right,
Chuck.
absolutely.
All right, Chuck Weber, stay safe. Reporting
Yeah,
for
well,
us
actually,
live.
some of the waves have come behind me here.
Yeah,
exactly.
you need to get out of the harm's way. All right, Chuck, thank you so much. Incredible video from Phil
Unbelievable, right?
Foster.
You gotta be, it looks like someone's taking a cup or a bucket behind him and literally just throwing the water at him.
Well, I mean, it's starting.
Yeah.
We said it's gonna start. It's 8 o'clock.
We're gonna start to get into the meat of it right now, folks. All right, let's go up to Jenna Eschbach, who is in Vero Beach. And Jenna, I notice you are not wearing the hood or the hat right now, but I can see the hair blowing quite nicely in the wind there.
Thank you so much.